Right now, residents at the men's emergency shelter on Madison's east side are raising concerns after losing something they say they need more now than ever.
Also, a Veterans Day lesson for some students in Watertown that flew into the school's parking lot. How this will stick with them for years to come.
And Veterans Day celebrations have commenced, including at the state capitol today, how the governor honored those for their service in Wisconsin. You're watching News 3 Now at 5. Developing now, a crash on the Beltline that caused all westbound lanes to temporarily close is now clear.
And in a separate incident, one person is dead and another injured in a crash on Madison's north side this afternoon. It happened just after 12:30 around Packers Avenue and Manley Street. The Madison Fire Department says 2 vehicles were involved. The driver of one vehicle died at the scene. First responders freed the other driver, who was pinned from their vehicle, and took them to a hospital with serious injuries.
With winter weather approaching, occupants at one Madison homeless shelter are asking for what they call a necessity. The men's emergency shelter on the east side lost a bus stop outside of their facility over the summer.
Those staying there say they need it now more than ever. Our Maddie Heimsch talked to those affected today about the challenges they're facing. Maddie?
The bus stop outside the shelter was removed as a part of the Madison Metro's route redesign, making the closest stop to the shelter more than a quarter of a mile away. Shelter occupants and community members say it needs to be restored.
There are elderly people in walkers, in wheelchairs, and canes, and they can't walk a quarter of a mile in the ice and snow.
Mike Roach is a Madison cab driver and a self-proclaimed community activist. He told me he has friends in the shelter and worries about their ability to make it to work this winter. For most staying in the shelter, the city bus is their primary form of transportation. The lack of a bus stop is a lack of accessibility.
You know, somebody dropped the ball. There was an oversight.
But executives at Porchlight, the organization that owns the shelter, told me they're not too worried in their office. They explained that Porchlight provides their own buses to and from the shelter. But the men in the shelter say the company buses are inaccessible too. They lack wheelchair ramps and only have one stop in the opposite direction of where some riders need to go. I spoke to one man staying in the shelter who has seen the problem in effect.
The people that are handicapped, disability, veterans that can't move up those steps, they're forced to use the city bus, so they have to walk a distance in order to even gain access.
He says he needs more from Porchlight and the Madison Metro system.
Knew that the shelter was going to be here, and they took the city buses basically away from the homeless community that are older people.
We reached out to Madison Metro for comment and haven't yet heard back. But as winter comes, the community at the shelter says all they're asking for is support.
All right, Maddie, thank you. Time now for your first one forecast. And yesterday's gales of November have subsided, Gary. It's a little chilly out there now, though. You know that reference, right?
Well, I know that reference, but I don't think the winds will be a big factor tomorrow. They will be on Sunday, but this time out of the south, and that should warm us up. Visible cloud track shows we've had clouds for part of the day today, but now the skies are starting to clear a little bit. We'll see intervals of clouds and some sunshine, but the live view from the WISC-TV Skycam showed we had a beautiful sunset in the west, and the Platteville Queen Bee Radio Skycam, pretty much the same story, just a few clouds on the far western horizon. Doppler track shows a few flurries up in the northern part of the state, but right now we're going to stay dry for a while. Low temperatures this morning, right around freezing. Madison dropped to 32 degrees, 34 in Janesville. Current temperatures are in the upper 30s to around 40 degrees with the clear to partly cloudy skies. Those temperatures should drop off tonight. Right now we're still at 41 in Verona, 41 in Cross Plains, and 41 in Wanakee, but look for those temperatures to drop into the lower 30s by late evening with clear to partly cloudy skies. Later on, I'll take a look at a warm-up for next week and just how mild it'll get by midweek.
All right, Gary, thank you. In honor of Veterans Day tomorrow, the Wisconsin Department of Veterans Affairs sponsored its annual celebration with music and speeches at the Capitol today. Governor Evers thanked state veterans for the sacrifices and contributions they and their families have made at home, on the battlefield, and at outposts around the world. The Secretary-designee of Veterans Affairs said it didn't seem right to simply say they were observing Veterans Day.
We recognize the millions of men and women who have proudly worn the uniform of our nation's armed forces and who have defended our American ideas. We celebrate their commitment, their sacrifice, their service. We celebrate by saying thank you.
Beloit's Griner Hall Senior Center held a ceremony this morning to honor their veterans. The center welcomed veteran speakers, the Beloit Color Guard, and the golden-haired choir to mark the day.
For students at Calvary Baptist School in Watertown, they had a Veterans Day lesson that had turned the school's parking lot into an Army landing pad.
A Black Hawk helicopter flew onto the school's property to kick off various Veterans Day events at the school. Our Catherine Merck shows us how one teacher says this can help their future careers take flight.
Students at this school got a pretty cool playground today and an experience to honor veterans that'll stay with them well beyond their time here.
It was pretty cool. The kids were very excited.
Calvary Baptist School got an inside look at an Army helicopter.
Seeing something like this in person, seeing our military, our Army men coming out, and I think it's just inspiring for them.
Third grade teacher Alicia Richards says she's a graduate of the school herself, along with the pilot who made the landing onto the school's parking lot.
It's not every day that they come and get this kind of greeting where they're always welcomed and people are excited to see them.
This is just the beginning of their Veterans Day lessons.
We're setting up booths for the different branches of the military so the kids can meet our veterans and get to know them a little bit better.
While these students might not know this yet, Richard says bringing something like this to the school could give them a look at their own future.
Maybe it'll be one of them someday.
Reporting in Watertown, I'm Catherine Merck, News 3 Now.
Canadian dairy company Saputo is shutting down its goat cheese facility in Belmont in Lafayette County and will start laying off employees tomorrow. Just under 200 employees will be laid off. Saputo announced last year goat cheese production would be shifting to its facility in Reedsburg, which was making mozzarella. The company announced last week its Lancaster facility will also be closing. Employees being laid off there will be given a chance to move to other Saputo facilities or will be given severance and outplacement support. The moves are part of an effort by the company to restructure operations in the United States. A Wisconsin judge is ordering the former Chief Justice of the state Supreme Court to produce records related to her work advising the Republican Assembly Speaker Robin Vos on whether to impeach a current justice. Pat Rogensack was one of 3 justices asked by Speaker Vos to advise him on the possible impeachment of Justice Janet Protasiewicz based on her campaign comments about legislative maps. The liberal watchdog group American Oversight has filed a lawsuit seeking records from Vos and the 3 former justices. Vos turned over more than 21,000 pages of documents last week.
Madison police are investigating a possible hate crime that took place near the UW-Madison campus earlier this week. It happened on State Street when a group of people were leaving a vigil in support of Israel. That's when someone began making racially charged comments from the window of a nearby building. According to police, one of the people was then hit by a rock thrown from the building. So far, no suspects have been named.
Thousands of Palestinians are leaving Gaza and heading south. They say hospitals being used as shelters are now under attack.
Israel says Hamas is using the hospitals as cover for its militant operations. Willie James Inman reports from Washington.
A mass exodus in Gaza Friday as Palestinians headed south, away from fighting in the north. This man, injured and in a wheelchair, breaks down from exhaustion. He says this is not a life. Most of these Palestinians were already displaced, sheltering at hospitals, assuming they'd be safe. But overnight, Gaza's main hospital reported several strikes. The Hamas-run health ministry blames Israel. Israel blames militants, but added Hamas is using the hospital as cover, its main command center underneath. Hamas says the Palestinian death toll now exceeds 11,000.
The U.S. government has been pushing Israel for a pause in fighting to help Palestinians get to safety. The Israeli military said that Friday's pause was extended to 6 hours, with Palestinians given 4 hours on Saturday.
We need to maximize every effort to prevent Palestinian deaths and to advance the humanitarian assistance that's getting to them.
Secretary of State Antony Blinken says the White House is also focusing on the release of the hostages Hamas is holding. In Tel Aviv, Israelis hosted a Shabbat dinner with more than 200 empty seats.
Bringing the hostages back should be the first and foremost priority of the government, and it isn't.
Another group, Palestinian Islamic Jihad, says it's prepared to release a woman and boy it's holding. These are still images from a new video Hamas released of a woman and boy kidnapped from their kibbutz during the October 7th attacks. Willie James Inman, CBS News, Washington.
Back here at home, demonstrators gathered at the state capitol in support of Palestine, the Madison branch of Socialism and Liberation, and Students for Justice in Palestine called for a complete ceasefire. People drew chalk outlines of bodies to represent the Palestinian civilians who have been killed since the beginning of the conflict.
We really want to show that there are numbers and scores of people and children who have been killed. And if you hear them chanting behind me, ceasefire now, that's exactly what we're asking for.
As pressure continues to grow from protests like these across the country, the U.S. has maintained its stance on rejecting calls for a total ceasefire in the region.
If you're lonely, you may want to phone a friend and invite them over. Details on a new study that could actually extend your life.
And drought conditions could soon be affecting your wallet. We'll have that and more coming up next on News 3 Now at 5.
Tech stock gains drive a big day on Wall Street. The Dow soars more than 391 points. The Nasdaq jumps 277. S&P 500 adds 68. We'll be right back.
You're the people who make junk disappear?
We brought a whole truckload of magic.
1-800-JUNK, I love you.
We make junk disappear. All you have to do is point.
From Lincoln Center Theater that brought you The King and I and South Pacific comes a sumptuous new revival of the most perfect musical of all time, My Fair Lady.
At Overture Center, November 21st through 26th. Tickets at overture.org.
Clean, safe, fun. I wanted it all when we needed daytime care for Mom. Oh, Grace's new adult day center is so nice. Now she goes twice a week while I'm at work and loves it.
A Grace, caring every step of the way.
We've got questions about Medicare plans.
Well, we've got a lot of answers. How can I help?
Well, for starters, do you have a Medicare plan I can actually afford?
How about a plan with a $0 monthly premium?
Well, that's a great start. What other benefits can we get?
Things like dental, vision, and hearing. But let me help you pick the plan that's right for you.
Don't wait. Call 1-800-AETNA for you to get answers to your questions and pick a plan that's right for you. And let's make healthier happen together.
At Foster Funeral and Cremation Services, we honor legacies. Let us take care of the arrangement so you can focus on saying goodbye. Veteran-owned and operated. Experience exceptional care and affordable service with Foster Funeral and Cremation Services.
Get the best deals of the season on a new Tempur-Pedic from Steinhafels. Tempur-Pedic mattresses relieve pressure points and support the body as no other mattress can. And right now, you can save up to $500 on adjustable base sets. Plus, get $300 in Steinhafels cash. Queen sets start at just $42 per month when you use 72-month financing. Hurry in, this deal won't last long. Shop in-store or online at steinhafels.com.
Surgenian's landfill-free guarantee has kept more than 20 million pounds of commercial and residential carpet and pad from area landfills. Visit Madison's largest showroom of flooring options, including eco-friendly products. Local, sustainable Surgenian's.
You're the people who make junk disappear?
We brought a whole truckload of magic.
1-800-JUNK, I love you.
We make junk disappear. All you have to do is point.
This Veterans Day, News 3 Now is celebrating our Wisconsin servicemen in the nation's capital.
I knew that there were call-ups all the time for Vietnam, and that was my greatest fear.
Tonight, we reflect on the personal obstacles servicemen and their families face.
Wisconsin's newest and most exclusive sports show, Wisconsin Huddle. It's a dynamic 30-minute weekly special produced for the die-hard fans of Wisconsin athletics. Watch Wisconsin Huddle Friday nights at 6:30. Brought to you by Ho Chunk Gaming Madison.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
A new study reveals loneliness can lead to an earlier death. It comes from the journal BMC Medicine, comparing people whose family and friends visited them daily to those who did not. People who lived alone and never had visitors had an increased risk of premature death by 39%. There has been a host of other studies linking social isolation with dying earlier, in addition to other health issues like poor immune function, high blood pressure, and mental illness.
And to fight loneliness, meet the first loneliness ambassador in the U.S. It's Dr. Ruth. You may already know her as the woman who unabashedly educated people about sex since the 1980s. New York's Governor Kathy Hochul just appointed the 95-year-old to fight the loneliness epidemic that she says was sparked by the pandemic.
Extreme weather is once again affecting farmers across the nation. Too much heat, not enough rain. It has caused crops to die, and you might feel that in your wallet.
A smaller harvest could lead to higher prices at the grocery store. Mark Strassman has the story.
In northeast Louisiana, this row crop harvest peeks through a dust cloud. Soybeans, or as farmer Jack Daly calls them, poverty peas.
This one's got a piece of a bean in it, but they're not what we've been used to.
Over the summer here in Franklin Parish, 27 days of triple-digit heat baked crops. Making matters worse, between mid-July and the end of August, no rain for nearly 6 weeks, not a drop. Daly's losses about 15% of his average soybean yield per acre.
Another issue for these soybean fields. It never really cooled down at night during the scorcher of a summer. That further stressed these beans, which further stressed these farmers.
Those without field irrigation harvested a near total loss in yield per acre.
Average probably anywhere from 50 to 60 bushels of soybeans a year, and some of them probably didn't harvest 11 bushels.
A fact of farm life from California to Minnesota to Mississippi and farmers like Van Hanserling.
It probably took 2/3 of the cotton crop and probably half of the peanut crop.
His losses alone, about $1.2 million.
It cripples, financially.
Mississippi farmer Pete Rutland says this harvest hurts more than just farmers like him and consumers like us.
It affects everybody when a farmer don't make a crop, from your retail to your equipment dealers. You just keep going.
In this thin fall harvest, farmers feel as though they're getting buried. Mark Strassman, CBS News, Extension, Louisiana.
Well, let's get a look now at our first warned forecast and Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti. Gary?
Well, 3 things you need to know in our forecast. Expect a cool night tonight with temperatures in the upper 20s, but not quite as chilly for tomorrow. High temperatures at least should be back up into the upper 40s. But then we have mild weather with above normal temperatures beginning on Sunday and lasting all the way through the end of next week. In fact, by Wednesday and Thursday, we'll look for high temperatures up around 60 degrees. That hasn't changed. And now it looks like it'll be dry through most of next week. Maybe a shower chance Thursday night into Friday morning of next week, and then we'll have to wait toward perhaps Sunday night into Monday of the following week before we see some chances for rain or snow showers. Badger football forecast, still looking for partly cloudy skies. Temperatures will drop off into the upper 30s by the end of the game. And for the Madison Marathon, temperatures will start out in the middle 30s, but then start to warm up. And we'll look for temperatures to be up close to 50 degrees with a little more wind as we head toward the end of the race right around noontime for many of the runners. Tonight, just a few flurries up in far northern Wisconsin, some lake effect snow squalls downwind from Lake Superior and upper Michigan. But precipitation over the next 10 days, not expected to amount to very much. Again, there's just a couple chances for showers over the next 10 days, and generally about a tenth to maybe a quarter of an inch of rain over southern Wisconsin. Up to the north, maybe a little bit more rain or snow in the northern portion of the state. The drought monitor pretty much unchanged since last week. This is updated as of Tuesday. Still severe drought conditions between La Crosse and Madison, moderate drought just northwest of Madison, abnormally dry conditions right around Madison, and then really no drought conditions over southeastern Wisconsin or in the central portion of the state. Extreme drought conditions over parts of eastern Iowa and into far southwestern Wisconsin. But just as we showed on that story just before weather, this area of Mississippi, Louisiana, eastern Texas, exceptional drought conditions. That's where the worst of the drought is, as well as a few spots in New Mexico. But California still remains in pretty good shape. And right now, our winds have shifted a little bit more westerly, so that's allowing slightly cooler air to come in. but notice out to the west, those winds become a little more southwesterly. It's not going to be a big increase in temperatures. It'll take a couple of days to get here, but we will see our temperatures rise as we head toward the end of the weekend and in the early part of next week. Planning your night, look for clear to partly cloudy skies with temperatures right around freezing by 9 p.m. By midnight, temperatures should be just below freezing. A few places north and west of Dane County, like Lone Rock, dropping into the upper 20s. By 3 a.m., temperatures around 30 degrees in Madison, generally upper 20s outside of Dane County. And by early tomorrow morning, Madison will drop to about 28 degrees with mainly clear skies at that point. Planning your night across Dane County, low of 28 in Mount Vernon, 29 in DeForest, and 28 degrees in Marshall. Across the rest of southern Wisconsin, down to 26 in Camp Douglas, 26 in Wautoma, and 28 for the overnight low in Monroe. Tomorrow, partly sunny, not as chilly as today. High temperature at 47 degrees as we look at our first warn 7 to 10 day forecast. 55 Sunday, 56 Monday, and 57 Tuesday. Sunday will be kind of windy. It'll be breezy some of the other days, but those winds will be out of the south, getting our temperatures up to around 60 by midweek. Then as we head into the weekend, look for temperatures to drop off. Probably lower 50s on Saturday, upper 40s on Sunday. But again, those rain chances pretty much confined Thursday night and Friday morning, and then again toward Sunday into Sunday night of next weekend. As we take a look at first warn traffic, of course, that accident that closed the westbound lanes of the Beltline around John Nolan Drive has been cleared. Traffic starting to increase in speed. Some slowdowns eastbound right around Monona Drive. Right now, slightly elevated travel times either way on the Beltline. 21 minutes right now from Sun Prairie to downtown inbound. But as we look at the outbound time, that's 18 minutes. US 12 Middleton to Sauk City will take you 16 minutes today. And the Beltline to Janesville on I-3990 takes you 24 minutes. That's your news through now. First warn traffic.
All right, Gary, thank you. Award season is fast approaching. You'll be able to watch the 66th Grammy Awards right here on CBS.
Next on News 3 Now at 5, find out who dominated the nominations.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Quartz takes a different approach to health insurance. We know every life well lived is a journey, and we're here to light the way at every step. That's why for 40 years, we've been alongside the doctors and hospitals who know what their communities need. Because they're a part of them. Because we're a part of them. There's a fire burning in all of us. Let's ignite it together. Quartz. Find your spark.
Don't miss the 34th Annual Winter Art Fair off the Square, November 11th and 12th at the Monona Terrace Convention Center. Featuring over 100 Wisconsin exhibitors with a wonderful selection of ceramics, paintings, glass art, wood, jewelry, and much more. Place your bids at our silent auctions Saturday only. Children will enjoy the Young Collectors Corner. Buy local for the holidays. The Winter Art Fair off the Square. Put it on your calendar today.
Welcome back to Sam's Hot Takes. What's hot now? Spectrum One Stream. It's internet, unlimited mobile, advanced Wi-Fi, and this Xumo Stream Box free with Spectrum TV. It makes searching for shows and movies across live TV and streaming apps easy. It's streaming simplified.
Get internet for $49.99 a month, plus advanced Wi-Fi and your first line of unlimited mobile free for 12 months. Plus add Spectrum TV and get a free Xumo Stream Box for 12 months. Call 833-788-4999. Visit Spectrum.com or stop by a Spectrum store today.
Progress means producing renewable fuels for trucks on the road today. We're partnering with farmers to develop these fuels using everything from plant byproducts to cow manure. And then using those fuels to help lower the life cycle carbon intensity of the transportation industry. Driving the world forward today while forging new roads to the future. That's energy in progress.
The Madison Club. Elegance reimagined. Excellence redefined. Amazing cuisine. Iconic spaces. Join the Madison Club. Featuring premier event venues, stunning lake views, with golf and travel club privileges worldwide. New member specials available.
Save big money with these hot deals at Menards. All prices after 11% rebate. Keep your family safe with a carbon monoxide alarm. Just $14.99. Glove up and keep your hands warm while you work with these fleece line work gloves. Just $2.99. Plus, a bottle of wood glue is $2.49. Grab a gallon of white vinegar for $1.89. And then spread holiday cheer. These floor mats are $3.99. These hot deals won't last long. Hurry before time runs out.
Save big money at Menards.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
The nominations for the 66th Grammy Awards were announced today, and women are dominating all of the big categories.
Danya Backus takes a look at who made the list.
SZA leads the pack with 9 nominations, including Record Song and Album of the Year. Her blockbuster compilation, SOS, only her second album, is also up for Best Progressive R&B Album.
Her SOS album has been this sort of genre and culture crossing album. It's a rare creative and commercial triumph.
Victoria Monet and Phoebe Bridgers came in second with 7 nominations. 6 of Bridgers' nods are for her supergroup, Boy Genius. It's me. Hi, I'm the problem, it's me. Taylor Swift, with 6 nominations, is poised to make history at the Grammys if her Midnight's album wins Album of the Year.
If she wins, she'll become the first artist ever to win in this category 4 times.
Wow.
She didn't release her most lively album this past year, but the tour and Taylor Mania and everything else has really given it a lot of wind.
She's tied now with Barbra Streisand for the most Grammy nominations by a woman in that category. Olivia Rodrigo, Miley Cyrus, Billie Eilish, Brandy Clark, producer Jack Antonoff, and Jon Batiste also nabbed 6 nods. And Batiste is the only male artist in the Record and Album of the Year categories. Gracie Abrams, Fred Again, Ice Spice, Jelly Roll, Coco Jones, Noah Kahan, Victoria Monet, and The War and Treaty are all up for Best New Artist. The 66th Grammy Awards show airs live on CBS and streams on Paramount Plus Sunday, February 4th from the Crypto.com Arena in Los Angeles. Danya Backus, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Well, if you ever walk past the old Smart Studios in the 1200 block of East Wash and Madison and fantasize about the early days of Nirvana, listen up. You can now own an iconic piece of rock and roll history. You just need a boatload of money. The last guitar that Kurt Cobain ever played is up for auction next week in Nashville. The Nirvana frontman's Fender Mustang is expected to sell somewhere between $1 and $2 million, but the executive director of the auction says he wouldn't be surprised if it sells for much more.
And just ahead, a final check of your first warn forecast after a short break.
Stop whitening your smile the old-fashioned way with strips and trays that can take 30 minutes to an hour. I'm Jonathan Greenhut, the CEO of Power Swabs. When I met Dr. Ginniker and he introduced me to Power Swabs and I saw how effective they were and how easy they were to use, I knew we had to share it with the world. Power Swabs was clinically studied to whiten natural teeth as well as stain caps, crowns, and veneers. It's so effective, it works on stains caused by coffee, tea, red wine, and even smoking. For those of you who have that one stained tooth that's darker than the rest, Power Swabs can target that area using swab precision.
My favorite thing about the Power Swabs is that I was actually able to take the swab and really get through some of those areas that are kind of like untreated. I felt like I can immediately see the results and I'm like, oh, I'm definitely starting to see the shades getting brighter and brighter or whiter and whiter.
If you have yellowing between your teeth, if you have coffee or tea stains near your gum line, just snap, swab, and smile. And in each 5-minute application, you'll see whiter teeth. So stop whitening your smile the old-fashioned way with strips and trays and start using the Power Swabs 5-minute solution.
Well, they're whiter, they're brighter, and I feel better about my smile. And it was so easy to do.
one friend was like, your teeth look like really white. Did you do anything to it? And I was like, I did. I did power swabs.
Call for your 5-minute solution to whiter teeth. This Thanksgiving, order Power Swabs and receive up to 50% off the retail price. And as an added bonus, get a free Power Swabs Quick Stick pen with your order. The Quick Stick pen is your on-the-go solution to help prevent stains from adhering to your teeth after drinking coffee, tea, or even after smoking. And in addition to saving up to 50% off and your free Quick Stick pen, get free shipping by ordering now. Dial the number on your screen or visit powerswabs.com today.
Think all Medicare plans are the same? Think again. With Dean Health Plan, you can get the coverage you need with premiums as low as $0 a month. That includes medical, hospital, and prescription coverage with $0 copays for primary care doctor visits, plus extra benefits like comprehensive dental and savings on over-the-counter pharmacy items. Call 1-855-822-6173 now to request your free Dean Health Plan guide. Dean Health Plan, right here with you.
On this Friday night, our investigation into college sports betting and the staggering $12 billion spent on prop bets last year. What those are and why the NCAA president is warning such bets are sacrificing the integrity of the game. That and more headlines tonight on the CBS Evening News.
Tonight at 6, we continue celebrating our Wisconsin veterans with stories from the Badger Honor Flight. Tonight, we reflect on the personal obstacles that servicemen and their families face.
Gary, I thought you were going to sing some Gordon Lightfoot with me earlier on this 48th anniversary of the Edmund Fitzgerald.
We talked about it yesterday on Live at 4 and Beyond the Barometer.
48 years ago. Yeah. A windy, chilly night over Lake Superior. Kind of was windy like that yesterday, but just cool today.
Yeah, today just kind of chilly, but winds will pick up on Sunday, but they'll be out of the south, and that'll warm us up. Live view from Edgewater Skycam, looking pretty nice out there. Temperatures, for the most part, now in the 30s. Still 40 in Boscobel, but just about everybody else in the 30s. Here in Dane County, 39 Madison, 39 Verona, 39 in Oregon. Look for low temperatures by morning in the upper 20s.
All right, we're back in 30 minutes for News 3 Now at 6. CBS Evening News is next.